Welcome back to Halftime. I'm Jessica Coody, and it's time for the President's Halftime Show with University of Nebraska President Jeff Gold, which we are excited to chat with every single week. Good to see you again.
Always great to be with you.
Big weekend last weekend. It was homecoming. Big weekend, big win for the football team. What were your thoughts following last weekend?
Well, homecoming is always a lot of fun to bring all these people back to campus. And, of course, it was a hard-fought game. A W is a W. And, you know, the thing I loved about it most is when the going got tough, the tough really got going.
Absolutely love that. Well, last week the board approved the next steps on Project Health, a major project at UNMC that will impact the entire state. What can you tell us about Project Health and how it will serve Nebraskans?
Well, this is a really big deal also, and deeply grateful for the board for approving this next phase of what we call an intermediate design review, which is a fancy term for start pouring concrete and put some steel in the ground and rising up. But this is the largest public-private partnership ever done in the state of Nebraska. It represents over a $2 billion project from beginning to end, and this is just another phase of it, of course. But what it represents is engagement of the philanthropic community, engagement of the state, engagement of the university, engagement of our hospital partner, and, of course, for the betterment of the state of Nebraska. And what people have to fully appreciate, this is not just about building a building, but it's about building the future workforce and the health professions for the state of Nebraska, allowing patients and families to have more access to life-saving clinical trials. This is a really big deal, and not to mention the fact it will be thousands and thousands of new high-paying jobs, which is something the state of Nebraska desperately needs right now.
Wow, that's incredible. When it comes to serving the state, the Rural Health Education Center in Kearney will make a tremendous difference for rural Nebraska. What's the latest update on that project?
Again, this is all about workforce to serve rural and urban Nebraska. The good news is the building is nearly done, and we hope to have a ribbon cutting sometime next spring. Formal occupancy, I think, late fall, early winter. But even to this time, the College of Pharmacy had its original entering class, and we'll have another whole group of nursing students this coming spring semester. And so you can really see the signs of life, even though we're not quite occupying the building just yet. And I will tell you, it is an absolutely amazing facility that it will serve a purpose. It will be a magnet. You know, I've looked at some of the incoming freshman class statistics at UNK, and it looks like about 4 out of 10, 40% of the incoming students say they're currently thinking about a career in the health professions, whether that's nursing or pharmacy or dentistry or medicine or some other. So we're going to hit the ball out of the park, I'm absolutely sure.
Fascinating. And I understand that UNL just last week held hearings for programs and departments who will be impacted by budget cuts. What can you tell us about the cuts and that process?
Well, I think the media has done a really good job of covering these updates. This is all derivative to the nearly, almost a full year of negotiation with the legislature over what our share of state instruction would look like, a lot of work with the Board of Regents about what we're going to do with tuition. And the reality of the fact is, just like any family does, we have to live within our means. We have to be able to pay the same thing everybody else does for light bulbs and floor wax, but to put gas in our cars and buy eggs for our student services. At the end of the day, these are hard cuts. There's a very detailed process that the campus is going through. It is my understanding that Chancellor Bennett and his team are handling this with all of the appropriate dotting the I's and crossing the T's of process, but more importantly, building it upon metrics of performance and building it upon a lot of compassion for those people whose lives will be impacted by it.
Appreciate that update. Well, President Gold, before we close, there's a friendly competition going on right now among all of the Big Ten schools that Nebraska is the reigning champion of, right? But it's about donating blood and saving lives. Can you tell us more about that and where Nebraska stands currently?
Well, I thought you were going to ask me about volleyball, but I guess you, and by the way, kudos to Danny Busboom Kelly and the team for having a great weekend last weekend. 2 sweeps, particularly at home at Penn State. really means a lot, and I think it sends a great message. So keep at it, folks. But you're referring to the We Give Blood program, which is this friendly, I put friendly in air quotes, competition among and between our campuses. And we are currently, of the 18 schools in the Big Ten, we are currently number 2, led by a small institution in Madison, Wisconsin. Now we're closing that gap. Homecoming knocked the gap down quite a bit, but we have a lot of work to do. And of course, it's a long football season until it's all over. But I do hope that the community can just simply log on to the appropriate We Give Blood Abbott web pages, or you can go to any of the University of Nebraska web page at our system level or at the UNL web pages, and find out when you give blood to help others how you can connect it to this Big Ten campaign. Now, last year, and we're going to exceed it this year, of course, but last year our donors impacted and potentially saved the lives of 60,000 people. I'll say that again, 60,000 people. And no one knows whether it's one of your loved ones, next door neighbor, somebody your child or grandchild goes to school with, whose life is going to be saved in the setting of a huge blood shortage that our nation is currently facing. So let's do the right thing. Let's roll up our sleeves, and let's make the University of Nebraska proud again.
Great stuff, as always. Appreciate chatting with you, and thanks for spending halftime with us again.
Always, and go Big Red.
Again, that is President Jeff Gold here with us on our halftime show. We got to step aside for a break. More coming up after this.